Monstar. To all those who just survived another Haha You're Alone season, I salute thee.
Haha, you're alone?
Yes, lasts from Halloween to tonight, and then it's over. Cheers.
It lasts from Halloween till tonight, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's over.
Pretty
It's
much.
over.
Then you just have Easter, and that's just boring for everybody.
Cheers. All right, so I started the recording, and people, God, I'm gonna have to cut this up on YouTube. Shit. Anyway, yes, this is the Trips and Monstar Show. I am Trips. You can see my name rolling down the screen there, and with me is my co-host again.
Monstar, of course.
Yes, and big ups to all the people that survived Haha You're Alone season.
Yes.
We did it. We did it. And to those people, I have to say, or for in Trips and Monstar fashion.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say, did you pick the right one there or no?
Yeah, Yamana. Well, there's yes, and then there's Yamana. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yamadamanama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, this is Trips and Monstar Show, and there you can see what we look like. Oh my God.
Oops. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So, since we're talking about Valentine's Day, we might as well get into it.
And I didn't get to watch my customary viewing of Gone Girl, which is a new tradition, began last year.
Ah, Gone Girl.
Gotta watch Gone Girl on Valentine's Day every year, you know. That's how it works.
All right, but apparently on Valentine's Day, this year, as in past couple of years, time to get a good old freaky deaky.
Oh, dear.
Uh-huh, right. That's right. Don't miss the climax.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Because we's talking 50 Shades of Freaky.
There's the only guy that saw this without some girl dragging him to it.
Wait, what'd you say?
The only guy that saw this without some girl dragging him to it.
It was a dare and the things I do for this podcast.
Yeah, I'll say. Wow. I don't know.
All right, so I don't know whether I should start with a...
Hey, wait, this was in IMAX?
I didn't see it on IMAX. There's no way.
But it was available in IMAX.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I guess people want to see people get spanked in the ass in 3D. I mean, so when do they have like special things like when the guy, comes like... Well, that would be a porn though, so that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, for the people who aren't allowed to watch real porn, you have this.
So first, we gotta say, this is the last one. This is the last one, so... Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate.
Hopefully it is, right?
Yeah, apparently, I don't know, she might have, I think she wrote a book called Grey, and they might adapt it, which to that I say...
Hell no! I want to be very, very clear. No!
Yeah.
But these twihards don't stop. They think
God.
they can...
All right,
Don't forget a twihard gave us this.
Yeah, let's run into this crap. So, 50 Shades of Fuck You, or 50 Shades Freed, directed by James Foley, and it stars Dakota Johnson, Jamie Dornan, Eric Johnson, Alois Mumford, Rita Ora, and Luke Grimes. Yeah. Victor Rasek as Jose is... He's mentioned. That motherfucker was not in that movie. His shit must have ended up on the cutting room floor. That motherfucker was not in that movie. All right, so All right, I'm gonna get into the story and then talk about my, I guess, story. Ha ha ha. And basically my notes or whatever, and then I'll talk about my theater experience, which y'all are nasty.
Oh, really?
Y'all are nasty.
Wow.
I mean nasty. like what the fuck?
I guess this is what it takes to make a basic bitch want to do something.
Yeah, I'm like, some of you guys are thinking you're funny, and
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
Yeah, it ain't. It ain't. So let's dive into this. Jesus Christ. So apparently we start with a wedding and a montage, and to say it's incredibly awkward and phoned in is an understatement.
They started with a wedding.
Oh, they start like do do do.
You're supposed to end with one. Don't you watch Telemundo?
Well, they end it. Well, here's the thing you don't know. The first and the second one, they end completely awkward. Like, the credits roll. The credits roll and you're just like, wait, that's it? The credits roll, you're just like, what the fuck? Like that's it. Okay. I mean, you're waiting for the movie to actually, like, start, and then you realize an hour into it, like, this is what we have.
Oh.
Fuck me. This fucking sucks. What the fuck? And then, so, yeah, they end really weird. So they start with, like, a ring being placed, like, do. Now pronounce you, blah, blah, blah. Now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride. And still. All right, I'll say this right now. Dakota Johnson tries her hardest. She tries to, like, do emotion. And, I mean, she really is going for it. The problem is Jamie Dornan is fucking wood. And I'm not just talking wood down there. I mean, he's wood. I mean, he's like Vin Diesel class wood.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, just tell me what you want. It's like he's like stalker, like creepy. So they go on a honeymoon across the countries, and he gets a bit over controlling. Like, there's a part where they're on a beach, like topless beach. And she, like, wants to take off her top, and he's like, cover up. Nobody needs to see you except me. I'm like, whoa. And she's like,
he wasn't like that the entire time?
Oh, no. But now he's like, you're mine, so cover up, and da-da-da-da. And she's just like, what the fuck? And she's like, see, tits flopping around, tits everywhere, tits everywhere. So he goes, I'm going to go swimming. She goes, okay. And she takes off. Well, there's one part where she's like, can you put some sunscreen on me? He's just like, you're done. Like, it's not even a nice, like, rub. He's just like, you're done. I'm going to go swimming. Come in.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, whatever. And she just, like, sunbathes and he comes back, and now she's laying on her back, tits out to the world, and nobody cares. He's like, what the hell are you doing? He throws a blanket on her. I'm like, she's like, what is your problem? But anyway, during this, there's this dude. He gets all super spy at Gray's building, which is supposed to be really high security. And I gotta figure out this. Yeah. He basically goes and he gets all super spy with it. Like, he has this card. Apparently, his shit was canceled. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it wasn't at all. And he plants this device. I guess he extracts that or whatever, and then he starts a fire. It's not a bomb. Like, he didn't blow up part of the building like any good supervillain would do. No, he starts a fire.
Really?
Yeah, like, did he get his shit at discount at, like, Super Spies or Super Villains R Us? Like, I'm seriously, like, I'm gonna plant this thing. Now I need to destroy the evidence. I'll just start a fire in a room. You don't blow up the shit. You just start a fire, really? Come on.
By the way, I was just scrolling down, and 50 Shades made Thug Notes.
Thug Notes?
Thug Notes did 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God.
In for later.
Oh, God. So, all right. So we find out. So Greg lets Anna know that they have to go home early, but first, sex. Of course.
But first, the whore.
Yeah, of course, sex, And so now they're finally home. Gray assigns 2 bodyguards to Anna, and she decides to cook because, they have a housekeeper or whatever, and she's like, no, I want to cook for once. She's like, okay. But the funny thing is, you never see this housekeeper prepare meals ever. In this fucking house. You never fucking see it. It's like, I came in. This is the first one I saw. And then I went back. Because I wanted to make sure what I saw wasn't, So, this is the first fucking one. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then you see through the series, you just see them like, oh my God. You see they're always cooking, they're always making spaghetti or whatever. You never see somebody, oh, I'm preparing your meals for you. You never see that shit. But now all of a sudden she's like, I want to cook. What the fuck were you doing before? It made no sense. And so then they have a discussion about kids eventually, and of course they're not ready. And yeah, and Christian Grey gets really creepy. Like, he's like, I don't want to share you with anyone. I'm just like, dude, you got her. So you don't need to stalk her now. And yeah, so then he takes a tie, he blindfolds her or whatever. He's like, remember your safe word? She's like, red. Like, that's right. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm going red, 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 red. And the shit's not working. I'm like, fuck. So she gets a new job at work. Well, basically, she has the job she had from 50 Shades Darker, where her boss, Jack, was fired. I'll get into that later.
Oh.
Her boss, Jack, was fired for basically coming on to her, where she slapped him in the face and kneed him in the junk. And then he was fired.
You get.
What?
And that's as much action as you get.
Yeah, basically, it's like, well, she was dating somebody, so it's like, I'm like, dude, you're a creep. But she's dating a creep, so what the fuck do I know? Anyway, so her husband, yeah, so her husband owns SIP. Her husband owns SIP. Right? He owns the motherfucker. And now, like, she's basically running it. And she's like, I want to make sure I got there because of my work merits. Stop with the bullshit. And how creepy this motherfucker is, again. There's a part where, like, we wanted to change her email to Anastasia Gray. She's like, no, I think I'll keep Anastasia Steele at work. And this dude basically, she's in a meeting with this dude, Boyce Fox or whatever, about, like, his book and publishing and all that shit. He's in this meeting, and she's just like, and all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. He comes through, like, hi. He looks at him. She's like, we need to talk. She's like, can it wait? He's like, no. So then he sits down and he's like, I tried to email you, but apparently there's no Anastasia Gray that works at SIP. What's up with that?
There is no Carol in HR.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's like, and he's like, he's just all crazy about it. She's like, yo, it's just a name. It's an email.
There is no Pepe Sylvia. The man does not exist.
Yeah, it's not a big thing. It's just an email, And it's like, well, you should change your name to like, and she asked like, would you change your name for me? He's like, if you want.
Yes, to Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah. If you want. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's another thing where they just like are arguing over dumb shit, and you're just like, really? So this is just killing time and chewing scenery, you know? So then they go and he takes her to this house that when they were on a boat in 50 Shades Darker, she's like, oh my God, I wonder who lives in this house. Apparently he bought the house, so they do now. And this is where we meet the architect Gina. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Gia. What the fuck? Yeah. Gia.
There's always a Gia.
Yeah, we're going to call her Gia. Yeah, Gia, who gives a shit she got tits, sex architect. That's what we're going to call her. I mean, because she's like, hi, Christian. And this is the thing when you see in the preview where, like, she goes, like, don't talk to my husband as if I'm not there. She's like, oh.
I haven't seen the preview.
Yeah, she's like, oh, Anna. She's like, you can refer to me as Mrs. Gray. And then she basically says, well, this is what we're going to do and all that. And she tells her, don't touch my man, and you can get your shit and climb into your shit-colored car and leave. I'm like, damn, she got some fucking balls. She got some backbone. Yeah, so they're driving, and then, you know, it's like, oh, well, you earned, you know, you can drive the car now. So she starts driving the car and all that. All of a sudden, they're followed.
Really?
Like, he's like, somebody's following us. A blue van is like, whatever is following us. And then all of a sudden, Anna becomes Anastasia Andretti, expert driver, race car driver. It's like, instead of calling, you know, alerting authorities that, hey, you know, we're being followed, we're going to drive right to the precinct and let you know. He's like, lose them. And this is when that stupid funk song about jacking off and like you're hot and sweat and I'm jacking. I want to smack it. I want to jack it. I want to did it. I'm like, this is not driving music.
Whacking it, jacking it, smackety jack.
This is shit that sounds like it's in a porno. This is shit that sounds like it's in a porno. It's not driving music.
It sounds like it's in the room.
Yeah, so you have this ridiculous driving scene. I mean, it was well done. It was a well done scene. I'll give the movie a positive right there. It was a well done driving scene. It made no fucking sense, but it was well done. And then he's like, pull into the parking lot. She pulls into the parking lot. And then all of a sudden she's like, goes right for his junk. He's like, we're in a parking lot. She's like, so they have sex in a car in a parking lot, of course.
So this is Crash.
Yeah, this is just fuck.
It's Crash.
This is just fuck. That's all it is. All they do is fuck. That's all they do. So, again, later, more sex. What the fuck did you think it was? Something of a plot? So, he leaves for New York. Yeah, so he says he has to leave for New York for business, and she stays to work and all that. And she meets up with Kate, her friend, for drinks. Against Christian's rules, because Christian's like, I forbid you from going out. You come right back home. And Jack Hyde, supervillain extraordinaire. And if you want to know what Jack Hyde... All right. This is Jack fucking Hyde. All right. That's Jack Hyde in, that's Hyde in 50 Shades Darker. Look how normal he looks, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a supervillain, right? This is Jack Hyde in 50 Shades Freed. Look at that shit. Look at that shit.
Oh, he went Chris Gaines on him.
Dude, he became Jared Leto's...
Chris Gaines on him.
Dude, he went Jared Leto Joker. He became Jared Leto's Joker. Like, all you need is the face paint and the freaking, you know, and the teeth. I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, he's just fucking... I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck? And this is at the end of 50 Shades Darker. Like, this is... Remember, all that happened was he went over the line, he got slapped in the face, and needing the junk.
And that turned him into that.
That turned him into this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the fuck? Like, you're looking at him, and he's like, you see at the end of 50 Shades Darker, he's like, as fireworks are going off, and he's looking like, and he has a picture of Christian and Anna and the whole family, and he's like, and he takes a cigarette and burns Christian's face. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm kind of surprised they didn't give him a fedora.
I mean, he just became super villain. He went full-on Batman villain. That's what he did. So she comes back, and he shows up, and he basically has a knife to her throat, and he's gonna, like, kill her or some shit. Kill her or kidnap her or whatever, but he forgets about security. Oh. So security, of course, disarms him, no problem, blah, 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 and he's walked off to jail. So that plot's over before it even started. I mean, this is another thing they do, especially from 50 Shades Darker. They just burn through plot points and subplots at like a breakneck pace.
I wonder if the book was like that.
It's like, and there's this guy. Oh yeah, he doesn't matter. And there's this guy. He doesn't matter. Like Jose. Jose is not in this motherfucker. Jose started off in 50 Shades of Grey. He starts off like, he's like her friend that loves her, but he doesn't tell her. And then by the time he does tell her, this is when like she's all fucked in the head and all that, and she's like, no. And this is when Christian pushes him to the ground, like, she said no, bro. And that's the end of Jose in 50 Shades of Grey. That's the end. Then she comes in 50 Shades Darker. Jose comes like, oh yeah, I have this photography, like my photography show, my art show, and he has these pictures of her and all that, and Christian buys them all because he don't want anybody else looking at her. That's what he says. And the next time we see, and then she leaves, and Jose's like, oh, you just got here, and then she leaves. And then Jose is back at like this freaking dinner thing where Christian like basically says like, I asked Anna's hand in marriage and she said yes. And he's like, oh. And that's the last you see of Jose. This dude fell off the fucking face of the earth. I mean, is there like another movie just going to be called 50 Shades of Jose and it ends with him fucking hanging himself?
Probably.
Or something because he didn't get her? I mean, you don't see this dude. He just drops off the face of the earth. So that's one subplot that's just gone. Done. It's over. So Jack basically gets arrested and you're like, oh. And then Christian comes back and he's like, he's angry and all that shit. And he gets really fucking creepy. Like, and then they have their BDSM session and he puts her up. Like, I'll show the scene. I think it is. No, that's not the scene. Shit. Fuck it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right. There's a part where he has her like strapped to like the dungeon thing of pain or whatever.
Was there and okay, that wasn't it. Okay.
And he has like this vibrator and he starts going. She's like, oh, and then all of a sudden he just starts digging it in harder and harder. She's like, ah, and she starts screaming red. It's so not cool. And he basically's like, you want to know why I denied you? I dreamed you were dead. And then he tells these vivid details, like, I dreamed you were dead and laying on the street prone and bloody. I'm just like, dude, she's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, she just got kidnapped. She just got home invaded. And she lived, and she's unscathed, and here you come, fucking her head up with like, oh, I dreamed you were dead. And blah, blah. Like, shut up. Dude, don't you know when to quit? You know what I mean? Fuck it. You just cause shit. So then they fight a bit or whatever, argue, blah, 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 blah. So then they go to Aspen, because that's all they do in this movie. They fight, they fuck, and they go on vacation. That's it.
They fight. Fight. The Itchy and Scratchy Show.
The Anna and Christian Show. They fight. They fuck. They fight. Fuck.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's 50 Shades of... Yeah, that's what it is. Jesus Christ.
50 Shades of Scratching.
So they go to Aspen with their friends, because why the fuck not, right? Because, of course, Christian owns a place in fucking Aspen. And Jack basically is like, he calls back. He's like, I'll get, what is it? He has his thing granted. And apparently he's like, it's my word against yours, and da-da-da. And apparently the judge is like, well, there's no... So they post bail. So Jack is like, he's in jail. So, they go to ask me, why the fuck not? Jack's in jail. So no need to keep him there. He could just get out. Whoever thinks he's going to make bail, when they set a bail at $500,000. We'll get back to that.
They could afford that. Yeah, you can afford that.
Yeah. This is 50 Shades of rich motherfuckers, of course. So they go to Aspen with Elliot and Kate. And there's another thing, because apparently there's another subplot that'll get dropped like in 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. I'll go over it quick, but... So basically, there's this whole subplot with Kate and Elliot because they've been dating since 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
And they see Elliot like hugging Gia, who gives a shit, big tits sex architect. And all of a sudden Anna's like, is he cheating on her? Is he cheating on her? But it doesn't matter, because like 2 minutes later he proposes to her and she says yes, so fuck it.
Yeah.
And then Gia and then big tit sex architect is never seen again. Never seen a fucking again. It just makes no sense. So anyway, Anna and Gray just fuck all over the house. I mean, even his sister Mia is like, we have it right here, and you guys can do whatever you want. We're way down here. You guys can go wherever they want. And they just fuck all over the house. I mean, they fuck on a kitchen table, like they use ice cream and shit. And
we didn't say you could do all that. And they go into the Airbnb. It was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but don't go in here. And, don't get any bodily fluids on the walls and crap. And they're just like,
well, they don't even give a shit.
It's like, oh,
they're fucking
dirty dark.
Yeah,
wash the sheets and all this shit.
They're fucking on this kitchen table with ice cream and I mean, if there's any spot for "You Are My Rose," it's right there.
You're making a mess. You're making a mess.
And then a couple hours later, they're gonna be eating breakfast on that fucking table. I'm like, fuck, no.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you ready for breakfast? Did you fuck on that table last night? Yeah, I'm getting takeout.
Like, no, I swear we didn't.
Fuck that. What's Colorado?
Why is this leg shorter?
Fuck that. There are Dunkin' Donuts here in Aspen. Where's Aspen's equivalent of Wawa? I'm going out for breakfast. Fuck that shit.
I am the table.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Hell no.
I am the table.
But and that's when they do the fucking that's when they do the subplot check. It's like, so we've already burned through 2 subplots. Jack. Hey, Jack's coming back for revenge. Check.
Jack's back?
Yeah, Jack's back. Check.
He's a Lego maniac.
Jack's back. Check. And then we have Jack's, and then you have the other one. Jack's back. Check. This one. Check. All right. Anybody chatting in the freaking chat room? I doubt it, but.
Well, they're ready for a chat, Captain Jack.
Yeah. Anybody in the room? Probably not. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Yeah, so...
Might as well have been in the room.
It's ridiculous. So... Yeah, then all of a sudden, is Elliot cheating on Kate with Gia? Nope. He's proposed. Check. Done. You never find out. You never find out. It's like, I've changed. Check. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had this whole thing with, like, maybe Elliot is unfaithful and da-da-da-da, but that's gone in 5 minutes. Who gives a flying fuck? So Jack gets out on bail. Are you surprised?
No.
They just got $500,000 laying around, you know. So Anna goes to the doctor, I guess 'cause she's supposed to get this shot, basically, so, you know, they can fuck all the time and not have to worry about getting pregnant. Apparently she missed a shot, so she's pregnant.
Oh,
And
dear.
And Christian fucking flips. He flips shit. He's like, I'm not ready for this. I don't want it. Like, he just fucking flips out. And Anna's, and again, I have a feeling Dakota Johnson went over the script and like looked at some of these lines like, oh fuck no, I'm saying something else. You know, we won't let Elle know. We won't, like, she goes to Jack.
She
She's
had to
like,
look over the. She had to look over the book. Like, I'm not saying this.
yeah, she goes to the director. She's like, yo, I'm going to say this instead, and we're not going to let the book writer know. We're just going to do it. Okay? Okay?
What?
If you don't say yes, I will fucking stab you, okay? Like, because there's a part where, like, she says, people usually get pregnant from having sex. And guess what? We fucking do that a lot. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, shit, Dakota Johnson's killing it. Another fucking killer line. It just makes me wonder, like, Dakota Johnson saw the script, and I'm going to call them the oh fuck no changes to her character to give her some spine, because you know damn well Bella didn't do it, and 50 Shades is basically fucking Twilight fan fiction with names changed.
Well, yeah, because it technically is.
Yeah, Bella had no spine whatsoever in the fucking Twilight movies.
And, you know, no vampires,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, apparently. You know, vampires are replaced by just rich people in the BDSM, so.
Which, well, technically, vampires. Technically.
But they don't do the BDSM part.
I mean, they do worse than that. So
Yeah, so Gray is super pissed that she's preggo. Like, super pissed. So he gets drunk and he hangs out with Elena, who was thrown out of his mom's house back in 50 Shades Darker. And Elena basically is this older woman, her mom's friend or whatever, that basically showed Christian the BDSM lifestyle.
oh,
Christian was Elena's sub for 6 years. So basically,
I see.
she taught him how to fuck. Yeah, so Christian's like, oh, drunk and all that. She's like, oh, we're fine. And all of a sudden, a text comes up, just pops up on the lock screen. You know, it was great seeing you again, Christian. You know, it was great seeing you again. You know, anytime you need my help, I'm here for you, da-da-da-da-da. And Anna just fucking flips. She's like, so you got drunk. And so instead of talking things out, you get so drunk and you hang out with a woman that told you how to fuck. That taught you how to fuck. And, like, she's like, I saw the text. And he's like, you went through my phone? It's on the lock screen, you dumb fuck.
Oh, no.
Like, you went through my phone? No, idiot. So
Someone's used to iPhones.
So she goes to sleep and be away from him in the red room, in the fucking dungeon.
Oh.
The second I'll get to it. She goes here to be away from him. Just think about that shit. You go to crazy BDSM playroom and lock yourself in to get away from this dude. So she's incredibly pissed and not talking to him, and he tells her, and basically he's like, well, and she basically tells him to grow the fuck up. And I'm like, hell yeah. I think also Dakota Johnson was saying this to the rest of the audience in there, but maybe that's just me. You know, like, you all watching this shit and fucking all over the place, you need to grow the fuck up. Watch porn.
You know?
You know, I mean, this is like Fabio books come to life or some shit. That's what it is. So she's super pissed and she's not talking to him and all that bullshit. And then she goes to work and all that bullshit, and then she gets a call. Jack's back, and he kidnaps Mia. And she's like, I'm gonna kidnap Mia. If you ever want to see her again, you should bring me. And now, if you're Jack, knowing how rich Christian is, how much are you asking for? How much are you asking for?
All of it?
Well, you can't ask for all of it because, you fuck them. I would ask for at least maybe 50 to 100 mil. Or a bill,
Yeah.
You know what he requests? $5 million. So our great supervillain extraordinaire is kidnapping a girl, from a billionaire for $5 million.
And he's like, yeah, I took your girl, but you don't gotta give me that much, man. I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a discount. Usually, when I kidnap girls, I demand this much. But for you, just for you, I'll make an exception. I take about 40% off, right? That's a good deal. We can do that.
Everything must go, including the girl.
Truthfully, she's very annoying, and I don't want her anymore. She's urinated all over the bed, all over the couch, on the floor. She's just peeing everywhere. Take her back, please.
But give me $5 million. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Jack.
Yeah, Jack's back.
And the funny thing is he uses his cell to make the freaking call.
Oh no.
Any cell. I mean, I think he either used his cell or Mia's. It doesn't matter because, first off, if you're gonna call somebody with ransom, use a burner phone.
Well, I mean, he just got out of jail. Can he afford a burner phone?
If he has his own cell phone, and he has an accomplice, I'm pretty sure he can afford it. Put it this way. If he got out on bail for $500,000, I'm pretty sure he can afford a fucking burner phone.
Or it was like, I'll get you out of jail, but that's it. I'm not getting you a phone.
Yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, so...
You can't have the phone.
It's fucking stupid. Again, did he shop at the Supervillains Are Us bargain bin or some shit? He's like, I'm out of jail. Supervillains Are Us. We can't afford all that cool shit. All right, bargain bin. There we go.
Here's my thing. You just got out of jail. You gotta try to kidnap this bitch again. What are you, OJ? You get out of jail and you just immediately do some more shit? What are you, Zimmerman? Your name's Zimmerman, right? His name's Jack Zimmerman?
And the funny thing is he's full on Batman now. Batman villain now. He has wild hair, red circles under the eyes.
Talking in death metal voice?
I wish. It'd be funny as shit. Yeah. Listen to me!
Fox.
God. So Anna listens to this clown. He's like, no cops. He's calling her. She could record the call. And he's like, no cops. Don't tell Christian. I'll know. How the fuck is he gonna know? This dude is not the craziest supervillain in the history of the fucking world. He's a dude looking for money. That's all he is. And it's so she goes back to the bank and she goes to get the money and all that stuff. And, Christian's like, are you leaving me? Are you leaving me? And she's like, crying and all that. He's like, give her whatever, put the bank teller back on the phone. Because, of course, the bank teller has to call because think about the fucking, thing.
Yeah.
Give her whatever she wants. Okay. So he does that. And he's just like, oh, my God. and I'll find you. Or whatever. This is when Christian's being good.
Oh, the old I'll find you.
No, he's not. He's being a good. He's being good now. He's actually being a hero. I was like, holy shit, Jamie Dornan's not being a creep.
So he turned face.
Sort of, but this is how dumb Jack is and his accomplice. She throws her phone that's on with the GPS in the bag with the money. Then she asks the bank teller for his phone. She's like, "Is that your cell phone?" "Yeah." And then she throws it out the thing. It's like, "You don't need it." She doesn't. So Jack's accomplice doesn't think to check the fucking bags.
Oh.
So basically, they're driving to Jack and Mia, and Christian's just, playing the stalker game, looking at her GPS. She's going here. Yeah, it just gets dumber by the second.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to this fight thing, and then Christian's like, well, not Christian, I'm sorry. Jack's gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna kill him, and da-da-da-da. You owe me a life." Because, all right, here's the thing with the "you owe me a life." Apparently, Jack and Christian were in the same orphanage. Get ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Christian were in the same orphanage. And then Christian was taken by, the Greys, the parents and all that, and was given a life at advantage. Jack is pissed at Christian because that should have been his life. It's not like Jack was like, "Hey, we'll take this guy, Jack. Oh, he broke his leg. Fuck him. Who we got next? Oh, Christian, come on with us." That'd be like, "You owe me a life." That's not it. There was no part where they originally selected Jack and then he fucked up or whatever, so they took the runner-up and it was Christian. There was none of that. So the whole "you owe me a life" makes no sense whatsoever. It makes not a lick of fucking sense. That'd be like me and you. We're going to a bar or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And this girl comes up to me and says, "Hey, da da da," and I ended up marrying her. I end up marrying her, and you don't go, "Well, she was looking at me. You owe me a wife." Like, she looked at you, she looked at me, I talked to her, and that was that.
She picked.
Yeah, she picked. And you're like, yeah, you're not like, "You owe me a wife. That was my life. You owe me that." No, none of that. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, fast forward back. So we're back. So we're back in, and he basically says he's gonna kill
Sure, they
Anna.
didn't give Jack a fedora?
No, I wish. And they give him a fedora and some white makeup, be perfect. Like what a Double Toasted say, they called him the Joker with blue balls.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's Double Toasted. What do you expect, right? Anyway, so Jack just goes fucking. He's like, "Fuck the money. I'm just gonna kill her." And then basically he slaps her twice. She falls down. And then
that's supposed to kill her.
and she's like, and then she's, remember, she's pregnant. So he kicks her in the stomach. I'm like, oh, he killed the baby. Oh my God. Because that's the only thing I could think about. Because she grabs the gun that was Christian's, by the way. Mm-hmm. Or Leela's, or it was some bitch. It was some girl from 50 Shades Darker, and now he has it. I whatever. Anyway, she grabs the gun.
There was a gun in the room, conveniently.
There was a gun in the room back in 50 Shades Darker. Back in 50 Shades Darker, this girl, Leela or whatever, was pointing a gun. And that was a subplot that was just trashed quick. It was like, "Oh, look at that. It was my old sub, Neo." And she's done. She's getting the help she needs.
She's just like, "Oh, wait. Wasn't there a gun in here?"
Yeah. So she grabs the gun.
There being a gun. Ah, the gun. There it is.
Yeah, so she grabs so she has the gun. And then she shoots him. She shoots him in the kneecap. And then she goes into a coma.
What?
She's like, the only thing I can think about.
How big was this gun?
What?
How big was this gun?
No, it was a little tiny shit gun. It was a little tiny girl gun.
And the recoil from that puts her in a coma.
No.
Okay.
No, she was kicked in the stomach.
Oh.
I was like, okay, maybe she killed the baby, and maybe he killed the baby, and that's why, she all of a sudden has all these complications. No.
Yeah.
No, none of that. It's just, and then, like, hit the, just, nothing of that. just like that, and then she's in a coma, and then he's like, well, I love her, and and then he says all these things, you know. All of a sudden now he's like, you know, becoming the good guy supposedly.
Wow.
And yeah, she comes out of the coma or whatever, and they find out that Jack goes away, and they never say where he goes. Just I guess he goes to jail or whatever. I don't know. The other girl gets arrested, and apparently Jack made sex tapes with every girl he worked with at SIP. Okay. And so they show Christian playing piano, and she's like, and then he gets a text, and it's her. She's like, you know, sir, I'm ready for pleasure.
Oh dear.
I'm ready for pleasure. So this is where we end. This is the last scene of the movie.
Ah, really?
Yeah, where from 50 Shades of Grey, basically, it would say, like, you know, you put the thing in a braid and you will kneel down with your hands facing, and this is how you will always be when you enter the playroom. He calls it the playroom. So they get their freaky deaky on.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, this was a long-ass review. So they just abandon shit. Like, ridiculous. And the whole time you're watching this movie, it's like, did anybody really even want to be in this movie? I mean, they show Rita Ora, it's like, how are they going to fuck her over now? It's just like... And it's like Dakota Johnson is trying. You can see it. She is trying. Just no avail. So, all right.
How much do they have to pay them to not have to get straight to video replacements?
Yeah. All right. So the theater experience. If you ever just see this thing, don't go opening weekend. Do not go opening weekend. Go at some weird ass matinee hour where, you know, all these crazy freaks are working. Because people get freaky in this motherfucker. I went to a 1:40 in the afternoon show. 1:40.
They're having nooners in the theater?
Dude. All right. I had my hood up. Thank God I did. I had my hood up, like, oh God. I sat in, like, near the back of the theater thinking, okay, I'm just gonna zone out, watch this fucking thing and run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And behind me, there's a couple. Like, behind me and 4 seats to my left.
Okay.
4 seats to my left. I'm like, okay, you know, fine, no big deal, whatever. And the movie's going on. All of a sudden, I hear a little bit of moaning, and I hear like that.
Oh boy.
I just closely look, and girls just going to town on them. I whip right back. I'm like, no, oh my God. And then in the seat, in the row in front of me, there's a couple. And an old couple, and I'm overhearing them.
Oh no!
No, I'm overhearing them. This lady's like,
oh, I thought you said it.
This lady's like, what is that? What are those people like 2 rows ahead of us doing? He's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, she's like, well, the seat keeps moving, and I think something. I don't. And all of a sudden, I'm listening.
The seat keeps moving.
I'm listening to this.
I hear this.
I look where they're looking at the same time, like, oh my God, the seat is rocking, and this one girl you see her head up, down, up. You see, like, I'm like, they're fucking.
The seat won't stop moving.
They were in the middle of the motherfucking row, and they were fucking.
What are they doing over there?
This old lady's like, the guy's like, they're having sex. He's like, they're having sex. She's
Are
like,
you sure?
Oh my God.
I'm not sure. Is that how you... I'm not sure. Is that what they're doing over there? Do they let people do that in there?
And during the scene that is on the screen right now, they're like, what are they waiting for? That's when that plays. Like, what are you waiting for?
Oh,
I run. I bolt out of the theater. I see the thing where, like, they have a kid, and you know, they're playing with the kid. They're living in the house now, and she's pregnant with another kid. and I look because somebody's about to come, and somebody's about to, bump into me from the steps.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the crowd, which I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have done it. There was about like four couples getting it on.
Yeesh.
At a matinee. On a fucking Sunday. They were having a high nooner. Jesus Christ.
So basically, this has the same effect that apparently Broadway plays have, but faster. According to South Park.
What are you waiting for? Oh my God. Dude, I will never be the same. Like, this burned into my skull.
Wow.
And I had to, and I was like, all right, if I have to do this, if I'm going to have to do this, I have to see if they abandoned them. I mean, 50 Shades Darker was hilarious. I mean, there are things that you can laugh about with this movie, like how they abandon plots out of nowhere.
Okay.
And for that reason, I give it a... It's a shit bomb. It's a shit bomb, and I will give it the single bird. It's a single bird shit bomb, which basically means fuck this movie, but at least you can make fun of it. Now, on to another shit bomb. Oh, boy. You go in, it says a Clint Eastwood film, so you're hoping it's high expectations. Because Clint Eastwood has done Unforgiven. He's done some good movies.
Yes, but
He's directed. Apparently, the problem with this one was, all right. I have no issues and what Alex Scarlatos, Anthony Sadler, and Spencer Stone did. Like, I commend
What'd
to
they
the
do?
highest. These are the real life heroes that stopped this terrorist on the train.
Okay.
Yeah, there was
Wait,
a
was this the thing that happened last year?
back in 2010 or something. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me find out here. 3 Americans discover. Yeah, that really helps. But yeah, this was the thing that happened. 2015. August 2015. August 15th. It's August 21st, 2015. Basically, a Moroccan terrorist. Yeah. Moroccan terrorist, basically, he took control of the train or whatever. He tried to do a terrorist attack on a Thales train. Number 9364, bound for Paris. And 3 young Americans basically subdued him.
Okay.
Now, that alone, you're like, oh shit, that could be a good movie. And Clint Eastwood got Alex Scarlatos, Anthony Sadler, and Spencer Stone to play themselves.
Oh, that's right. I did hear about this. They played themselves in the movie. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if it's just doing the train part and all that, and then the aftermath afterwards, that makes sense. But then you go into this long and boring story about how the friends met, about how they were back at age 11, how they were at age 14.
Oh my God.
Yeah, why they
say, how are you going to make a full-length movie out of that?
Yeah, and in Clint Eastwood fashion, he basically goes, it's basically very God and military. God, military is great. God, military. There's a part where Judy Greer, or Joyce, as she's played, yeah, I think it's Judy. Yeah, she goes, because the elementary school teacher says, like, maybe we could put them on, something other because they have ADD.
Okay.
And the mother she goes, my God, is like, my God has more control than your medicine. I'm just like, oh God, here we go. And there were people in the theater.
The military. Where's the NRA stuff?
Yeah, there were people in the theater like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, you fucking serious?
Where's the NRA stuff?
Oh God. And then these kids are obsessed with army and war already. It's like, hey, let's play war. Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. And they're bad kids, supposedly, or whatever. And you don't care. You honestly don't care. It is just, the story is, ugh. And then, eventually what happens is, Anthony goes away. Anthony goes to a public school. Alec gets taken to, I guess, Colorado or somewhere. And they all have to keep, they have to keep in touch with each other via the phone or whatever, or some shit. I don't know. Then we fast forward to where they're freaking like 17 or whatever in high school. And you see Spencer working at like some coffee shop. And there's a Marine that comes by and he's like, oh, look at that. Oh, Marine, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a Marine. What would you do? Like, what's there? Like Army, Air Force? Yeah. Da-da-da. What do you want? And he, gives him a coffee. He's like, yeah. And the guy goes, how much are you? Oh, don't worry about it. Thank you for your service. It gets so corny.
Wow.
It's just so fucking corny. And then then they get to the training thing where, like, you see Spencer went for one thing and he didn't get it because his vision. He had problems with his vision or whatever. So he couldn't be paramilitary. So instead, or para EMT or whatever the hell it is. So instead, he's doing other things, which, hey, it's cool, and he's like, well, I'm over here in Fort Worth, whatever, and I'm learning this, learning jiu-jitsu. I'm like, okay. And Alec is in Afghanistan. He's a soldier, because, of course. The only one that's not a soldier is Anthony. And Anthony, you don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just taking selfies. That's it. He takes selfies, plays video games, and he made fun of Spencer for his weight. And then they show Spencer, like, basically working out like crazy and drinking shakes and making shakes and all that. And then he gets down to weight. And you're like, okay, whatever. Then they finally go, oh yeah, let's go on this vacation. Now they're finally entering towards the train territory. And what they do is, during this boredom, they have little flashes of the terrorist. And like certain things like, dun. All right, now we're back into the story. Like, fuck. Like whenever they hit you with a nugget of something good and they just take it away from you. You're like, all right, now we're finally getting to the action part. We're finally getting into the story that I really care about, and now we're back in this fucking dude is, like, talking to coffee. And it's like, what the fuck? And this guy's, like, talking to a military guy making coffee. Do I really give a shit about how he made coffee to the military guy? And that how he gave it to him for free? Thank you for... No, I don't give a shit. Get to the fucking point. And then it turns into something from the Travel Channel. It's like, hi, we're in Italy. Hi, we're this. It's basically Spencer and Anthony going around and, like, snapping selfies and going to certain places. Like, you see them order ice cream, for Christ's sake. You see them order beer. You see them order it's just normal, stupid shit. Like, if you went into a pizzeria, I'd film you ordering pizza and eating pizza. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. And there are some people that are just like, there were some people that, oh, military, and then after that, they're just, you could hear them snore. And this was a 5 o'clock showtime. And people they're just snoozing left and right. And then Alec is in Germany or whatever, and he meets this girl, and Who gives a shit? Because they're done anyway, and then they show them clubbing and then snapping selfies, and then, hey, maybe we should go to Paris. Yeah, maybe we should, because I'll get a selfie at the Eiffel Tower. And then this is where the freaking thing this is where the meat of the story happens. Thank God. This is where they finally get to the good shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They finally get to the good shit, and the good shit is great. Oh my God. Like, the story, like, it killed it. Like, Clint Eastwood fucked this movie up. Like, the directing was horrible. I don't know what he was thinking. But when you get to the train, where this and that, where the Moroccan terrorist shoots this one guy, and the bullet's, like, in the neck or whatever, and Spencer puts the dude in a jiu-jitsu hold, and the guy, like, takes a knife out, and he tries to slash his neck. And then Alec basically takes the gun butt and just shoving it right in his face the whole time. And then they finally get... The guy comes up, and then Anthony comes out of nowhere and just gives him, like, some crazy, like, Superman punch.
Superman punch. Oh, my God.
It's ridiculous. But it's cool when they do that. Like, Alec takes the thing, and he looks at the thing, and he has, like, 300 rounds of ammunition. You know, he disarms the gun and all that. The cops come in, it's like, whoa, 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 we're all good. The coolest thing about it, I liked, was you see Spencer's training, because there's a part where this was cool how they did it, how they went back to it, because there's a part where it's like, what if they have a, you know, a wound in the neck or whatever? She's like, you might as well just pray to God and, you know, make a funeral arrangement. And the guy has a thing in the neck, and he's like, and he puts his pressure on it and all that, you know. You know, he's like, do you have anything, like a towel, whatever? And, you know, they go grab, I think it was like a shirt or whatever, and he put it there. And he's like, all right, now you gotta, you know, you want to say a prayer with me, da-da-da. I'm like, all right. But the cool thing is he had, like, his hand on the neck, and he's talking to the guy and all that, and they're working, and then the EMTs come. And then he helps him and all that. Like, that was cool. Like, the last, like, 20 minutes of the movie was great. Like, when they get
It's only 20 minutes.
That's the problem. It's only 20 minutes of a goddamn fucking... How long is this piece of shit? Ugh. Trying to find out how long it is. Oh, an hour and 34 minutes. 20 minutes of an hour and 34 minutes are good. It felt like 3 hours. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. This is fucking boring. And then they get to the part where you're like, oh, hey, cool. And then people are like, yeah, this was really good. I'm like, and then another guy's like, it was a good last 20 minutes. The rest of the movie sucked. And there's this whole thing where people are saying, you know, how dare you judge us, you know, the heroes and da-da-da-da-da. Because they were the heroes played themselves in the movie and da 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 da. It's like, you're not discounting what they did at all. But when they get into a field and they make a movie, and these guys are playing themselves, I mean, yeah, you're hoping they can act. You're not expecting them to, you know, be wood. You know, you're expecting them, especially with Clint Eastwood there, you know, that he's going to give them things and they're going to be okay in his hands. And these dudes are just boring. I mean, just boring. Like, whatever chemistry you think that they had as friends is gone on camera. Like, these are my best friends. Really? We can't tell. I mean, they're shaking hands and doing shit, and it looks so fake. I mean, there are certain parts where you need a little bit of... You need a little bit of Hollywood phoniness to push the movie. And, holy God. So this one's a shit bomb, and I'm going to give this Nighthall. This gets the Nighthall rating, because this movie will help you get your Z's. Whew. Alright. Now we get to the best movie I saw all the week. I can't believe I said that. Because you see the trailer for this movie and you're like, this is going to be shit. And this movie was good. Like, I genuinely enjoyed Peter Rabbit. I've seen it twice. That's how much I've enjoyed this movie. I have seen it twice. Like, what else can you say? You know? So, alright, Peter Rabbit stars James Corden. Where is it? James Corden, Elizabeth Debicki, Margot Robbie, Daisy Ridley as the rabbits. James Corden's Peter Rabbit, Daisy Ridley's Cottontail, Elizabeth Debicki's Mopsy, and Margot Robbie is Flopsy. And also the narrator. Also stars Rose Byrne and Domhnall Gleeson. That's right, General fucking Hux. So, anyway, this movie is... The thing that makes this is it is a reminder of, like, the old school Looney Tunes. That people nowadays will be like, oh, the Looney Tunes are so wrong for kids. I'm like, dude, you need to laugh. And the one thing you can say about Looney Tunes is they were fun as fuck. You know? Looney Tunes was funny as fuck, and the thing is also, it had some British comedy in it as well.
Sure.
It had some British comedy in it as well. There's a part where Domhnall Gleeson, like, it's sometimes the character's like, he's like, you see, this is what happens. This is what happens. Why am I talking to a bunny? I am losing my mind. Nobody's gonna listen. Like, he says that all out loud. He's like, why am I talking to wildlife? I am losing my mind. It is hilarious. So, you know, and Peter Rabbit basically is like Bugs Bunny in this, but if you read the old Peter Rabbit book and they updated it and they made him Bugs Bunny and they made it funny, okay. It was fun. Like, people were like, oh, well, Paddington, da-da-da. Paddington was funny at certain parts, but there were parts where Paddington is just like, oh my God, get over, you know, just stop with the polite. Where he turns the whole prison, and all of a sudden, you know, because he wanted some marmalade, like they have marmalade sandwiches, and all of a sudden they have cakes and this and that, and everybody's nice, and the prison's happy, kumbaya, fuck that. Yeah, like, they made a prison with flowers, and, like, dude, no. I don't care if Paddington's in fucking... Yeah, I don't care if Paddington's in fucking prison. That's some bullshit. So, this is basically the story, like, Peter, you know the story of Peter Rabbit, where Peter goes in to Farmer McGregor's garden to get vegetables, and Peter and McGregor constantly are going at it with each other. And, you know, that's basically the story. You know, so the thing they do in the beginning, the thing they do from the beginning, though, is they have these cool scenes, which are pretty, because Rose Byrne plays B, you know, short for Beatrix Potter, basically. And she's this painter, and she's painting all these paintings, but they suck. But she does these illustrations of the rabbits and stuff like that. And those are like straight out of the Peter Rabbit books. Like, they look like that. You know, they in the same style, everything. So, and there's one where he sees, like, where his mom and dad are talking, like, oh, and his dad goes, oh, I'll go to the garden. And he goes into the garden, and Farmer McGregor, Mr. McGregor, kills him.
What?
Like, you see him just like that, and he slams a rake down, and then the next thing you see is Mrs. McGregor with a pie, and he has, like, fork and a knife, like, rabbit pie. And I'm like, holy shit, they went there. That's dark. That is dark. So, I mean, when I you know, because you go into a movie especially like this and you're thinking, okay, twerking animals is going to be stupid. I'm going to hate myself. It's going to rely on a stupid pop soundtrack and you're just going to hate it. You know what I mean? Like how most of the kids' movies are nowadays. You know, like it's going to be a musical and da, 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 and you're going to want to fucking shoot yourself. They start with the birds singing like da 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 da, and then Peter just bowls right into them like, sorry. And it's like, it's not that kind of movie. I'm like, yes! And it starts right off the bat with him fucking with McGregor. Him fucking with McGregor big time, and it's hilarious. Like, and this is Sam Neill. Sam Neill is from... You don't even know that that's Sam Neill. Look at that shit. That is Sam Neill as Mr. McGregor. And he's like, rabbits. And so he's about to catch Peter Rabbit. And then B comes like, oh, hello, Mr. McGregor. He's like, hello, rabbits in my garden again. And, you know, she's like, she loves the rabbits. Like, she just loves the rabbits. So they come in and all that stuff. And McGregor basically puts Peter's jacket on a, you know, on like a scarecrow thing or whatever. So he goes to get the jacket. And McGregor finally catches him like, gotcha. And he's like, tonight I'm have a hankering for stew. Rabbit stew. And he has a heart attack. And dies. Like, Peter even goes like, he pokes at the eyeballs like, yep, he's dead. He's like, I did it. I vanquished McGregor. He goes in the little ice cream truck with lights. And this is... I mean, this is how we start. So, they're writing their own tale. You know what I mean? And next, so, you know, it's like, who's going to be next? Enter Domhnall Gleeson's character, Thomas McGregor. And Thomas McGregor, he works at Harrods in London. And he's, like, really super organized and clean. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's like, you have to take these pillows, toss, fluff, toss, fluff. It's like, you see, people, you really have to get down in there and get it. Like, you know, I should be able to drink from these toilets.
One red and one blue?
No, I should be able to drink from these toilets. And he goes to take a straw. He's like, what do I... And then they call him, like, you know, what did you... They call McGregor, and he's like, how do I look? It's like someone who was about to drink from a toilet. Good. A toilet with a straw. And his boss, played by, I think... Let me make sure here. Yeah, his boss was Marianne Jean-Baptiste. That was the general manager. Pretty cool. By from Marianne Jean-Baptiste. And she was like, oh my god. Like, she's like, your great uncle Thomas died. He's like, oh, I never knew the guy. So did I get my promotion? Like, he didn't even know the dude. He's just like, I don't care about that. Did I get the promotion? Did I get the promotion? And then she says, like, no, you know, of course you didn't get the promotion. It goes to, I think it was the manager's son. He's like, he's a twit. He's an imbecile. And basically, you meet the guy. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll be in my office. I'm going to go on break, actually. And Thomas loses it. Like, he starts beating the shit out of the Harris Bear. He's like, I love you, and he punches the shit out. So, of course, he gets fired.
Right.
And he gets a...
Wow.
And he gets a letter. And he gets a letter and all that in his will. And in Old Man McGregor's will, the farm is his now. So he finds out it's a good amount of money. So he's gonna clean it up, sell it, and then buy his own toy shop. Preferably next to Harris, so they can watch their own defeat. So they can watch their own downfall. You know, because he's ridiculous. So, and at this point, like after McGregor dies, basically, the animals are basically running the house. Like, you know, they open up like, hey, come on in, and they're having parties all over the place. You know, they run the house. They're living in the house, all that shit. So then they see McGregor. He's like, oh, human. And they all hide. McGregor walks in, and he's just like, oh my God, who can live like this? Like, there's vegetables everywhere. Of course, you know, because they're freaking animals. And everybody, they're supposed to hide. Like, there's this one, I think he's a raccoon or something like that. It's like, he goes to hide. It's like, hide! And he covers his eyes. He's like, just because you can't see him doesn't mean he can't see you. He's like, oh. And then he's like, now you're just a candelabra. Like, he takes 2 carrots and he tries to be a candelabra. And then he's like, now what are you? He's like, Lazy Susan. Like, he has vegetables in his thing and he's pretending to be a bowl. And then he finally puts a lampshade on his head, just has to be a light, and then he gets knocked over before he opens the door. And it was just like, oh my God. Like, it's just stupid Looney Tunes shit that's funny. Like, all these comedies nowadays try to be so, you know, a lot of these comedies now try to be smart and intelligent. It's like, what's wrong with slapstick? You know? What's wrong with slapstick? You know what I mean, dude? You there? Ew. You. Hey, yo.
Yeah.
You there?
Just disconnect again.
What?
Oh, hold on. I think we might have disconnected again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, what's...
fucking... I'm looking at the fucking Wi-Fi adapter here, and it's like, wait, did this disconnect again?
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, it's like...
It's fine, then.
Yeah, what's wrong with some slapstick? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, nothing's wrong with slapstick. So, anyway. So he looks up at the thing, and, like, he sits on the couch, he's like, and then there's a thing rising, and he goes to take the thing off, and it's a pig. A pig in a top coat, by the way. A pig in a top coat, by the way. And he, of course, he screams like, ah! And all the animals rush out. He's like, shoo, shoo, get off, get off. And thus begins, and thus he starts, you know, cleaning shit. Like, there's a part where Roseburn's like, oh, he looks normal. He looks sort of normal. And then he has, like, these cleaning things, and he spins and sprays the things like, she's like, well, okay, that's not normal. Oh, but that's normal. Like, it's so funny. She's like, that's normal. That's normal. No, you know, and then she goes to talk to him, and I think it's Mopsy. Yeah, Mopsy basically is like, I can read lips. And she's like, something like, you know, something the elements to our own advantage or whatever. And she's like, I think she said the elephants here are really flatulent.
Oh no!
And they're just like, oh. Yeah, it's completely wrong, and it's hilarious. And the funny thing is, when they say that, everybody just looks like, huh? You know, they turn like, what?
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot a guy. Where's cousin? Because you have Flopsy, Mopsy, and then you have Colin Moody was Benjamin Bunny. That's his cousin Benjamin.
Okay.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, every time Peter's like, I'm gonna go do it, and it's like, you have to come along with me, Benjamin. It's like, why? Why do I have to? Because that's my character flaws. I do everything. I do something. I always do it, no matter how stupid and insane it sounds. Your character flaw is you always come with me. And he's like, so every time he's like, come on, he's like, that's my character flaw. Like they're very almost like fourth wall breaking.
Oh, like meta in a way.
Yeah, they're very meta. So basically he puts the whole thing up and they go into the garden, again. And this McGregor's like, hello, and they're like, oh my god, he's a lot faster than the old one. And then they play the game like the shell game. And he's like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course they get out of the way and he's like, but then he catches one, and that's when he's like, you see, I didn't want to do this. You had to stay out, but this is what happens. You see, you're looking around. This is what happens. This is what happens. I don't know why I'm talking to wildlife. I am losing my mind. Like,
wow.
Domhnall Gleeson plays it perfect. I'm just like, oh my god. Like, everybody in the theater was cracking up. And the funny thing, when I went there, it wasn't a bunch of kids. It was more adults and a couple kids.
Okay.
And everybody was cracking up. So they go into town. He gets dynamite because he's like, I'm going to launch them. And yeah, I'll just give I'm not going to give the whole story. So basically, oh God. McGregor falls in love with B. Well, he falls for her.
Okay.
And of course, Peter's like, oh, this is war now. Fuck that shit. And Peter's an asshole. Peter Rabbit is a straight up dick. I'll say it straight up. He is a straight up dick. I mean, oh my God. I mean, the things he does border on psychotic. Like he wakes up and is like, oh, he has to leave now. He has to go. He goes, and that's when he wakes up, and you see this scene. Did it show up yet?
Any second now.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, here we go. What the hell did he put on his hands?
Rabbit traps.
Mouse traps? Okay.
Like they were in the garden. Like he goes, oh, and he goes to lay down. Like she's like, ah, and he goes to hit the clock. Ah! And then he spins out of bed, and that's when he hits like rakes like crazy, just. And then he falls.
That's straight up Looney Tunes stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, then he falls on the other thing, and he gets like 3 rabbit traps on his ass, and then he basically trips down the stairs, and he lands in a wheelbarrow, just. He's like, those rabbits got to go. Like, it's funny as shit. And then, okay, well, there's this one scene, of course, everybody's mad about. The food allergy.
This thing.
Yeah, because B basically offers Thomas water. And he's like, does it have blackberries in it? I'm allergic to blackberries. I can't have it. She's like, oh, okay. Sorry about that. And there's a part where he's like, Peter's looking, he's like, allergic to blackberries. What the? Allergic to da-da-da. And, then they say, well, food allergies are a very serious thing. He's like, yes, I understand that. Da-da-da-da. And like, basically, it's meta because he says, like, I understand that and it's a horrible thing and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So nobody writes us. And he smiles at the screen.
Ha ha!
And he's like, and then they go back into the movie, but this guy, come on!
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of things like, oh, I see you doing your stretching thing. Because B comes out, he's like, oh, yes, I'm relaxed. I'm very relaxed. It's like, arms up. He's like, no, arms up. Arms up. Arms up. Because they're basically just pelting his junk with vegetables.
Oh.
Like, he's like, and that's when they shove a blackberry. That's when they shoot a blackberry down.
Oh.
And how that happens is because Flopsy can't aim. So Mopsy basically
right.
And Mopsy's basically, being a pain in Flopsy's ass the whole movie. So he's like, just picture the one thing you'd want to hit more than anything. She's like, oh, okay. Perfect. You know, of course, you know, Flopsy's picturing Mopsy. Yeah, I mean, the voice acting was great. I dug it. So
Cool.
then they have the one scene of, like, you see the trailer. He's like, I gotta get rid of these bunnies. Because McGregor buys an electrified fence. The rabbits find a way to turn that against him. They basically run, like, these cables to the house instead. So everything metal's electrified. So that's why he goes to run to, he goes to the doorknob and poof, he's shot back across the room. Like, this shit is, like, crazy slapstick.
Wow.
Yeah, like, you know, and
Wait,
it has
live action.
yeah, and it has a heartwarming ending and all that shit, and, you know, it's funny. I had a good time with this movie. I had a very, very good time with this movie. Like I said, I saw it twice, so I think, you know, I'm gonna give it a good. It was a good. I could say must see again, but, you know, not everybody's gonna do that. But I liked it. I thought it was good, so my rating is good.
Very cool.
Yeah, like, it's. I mean, it's a kids' movie. You could take the whole family to see it, or you could just see it yourself. Because the slapstick and the jokes and the humor are meta enough, and, you know, I found it very meta, and some other things where it wasn't that. The only thing I hated about it was when they did the pop song shit. You know, because this is a kids movie, so they're gonna dance a bit and do. And they have a thing where they basically do a mock of I think Fort Miners, remember the name?
Oh my god.
It's like, we're going in the garden to get the vegetables from Mr. McGregor. Like, 40% bird, remember the name. And it's like, and every time, yeah, anytime someone sings, it's usually the pigeons or the birds.
Oh boy.
But you go into this movie, I'm going to tell you right now, you go into this movie for Domhnall Gleeson. Domhnall Gleeson as Thomas McGregor is so hilarious. Like, there's like, the rabbits did this, the rabbits told me this, the rabbits hit the button. She's like, no, the rabbits didn't hit the button. He's a rabbit. And then at the end, Peter's just like, and then he puts his paw on the detonator. He's like, oh my god, what else can they do? And he's like, you would be surprised. Like, it is ridiculously, like, you know, it's out there. You know, where Paddington's a little bit more realistic you could get, but, you know, except where he gays up the prison. That's Paddington.
I mean, Paddington was never really slapstick like that anyway, so.
Right. The one thing Paddington has is, like, the thing with his Aunt Lucy, that when, you know, it's like, we couldn't bring London, you know, we couldn't, the book, because you wanted her to see London. Well, we thought, how about we bring London to you? You know, bring her here. And then when he hugs her and meets her, I mean, you know, a tear could well up in your eye. You're like, oh my god, that's so sweet. You know, bullshit like that. But Peter Rabbit doesn't get caught up in that shit. I mean, yes, there's a romance thing, but it doesn't, like, you know, it really doesn't spoil the movie. So, I mean, you can take it. I mean, if you want to laugh at just some funny-ass slapstick, you can laugh at funny-ass slapstick. If you want, like, the British humor, you have that. Like, there's enough there. I don't know why some people, like, some critics are, they hate it, but then they also love Paddington, too. Where I was okay with Paddington, but I didn't care for it. So, that's Peter Rabbit. You know, I think I'm going to save Kickboxer for another show.
Yeah, that's going to need a lot more time.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I'm gonna have to watch it again and again and again and again. It is ridiculous. So we'll come back to Kickboxer next week. So that leaves us with our bad movie pick, Blubberella, directed by
Yes.
Uwe Boll. Yeah,
Starring Uwe Boll.
starring Uwe Boll and Lindsay Hollister
Yeah.
as the titular character Blubberella, and Brendan Fletcher as
Bill
Nathaniel
Williamson.
Gregor. Yeah, basically. And Michael Paré as the Commandant. William Belly as Vag. And then the names in this thing, like Slotlana, was hilarious. Slutlana. That was her name, Slutlana.
Yep.
All right. Now, the funny thing about...
Pretty much it's the parody of Inglorious Bastards plus Blade plus Underworld.
You really want to know what it is? This is a parody, scene-for-scene parody of Blood Rain, the Third Reich.
Oh, that's why he walks in and says, "Are you Blood Rain?" Yes.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, when they were shooting this, Uwe Boll was actually shooting Blood Rain, the Third Reich at the same time.
Oh, no shit.
So they would shoot the Blood Rain scenes, and then they would take a day off or whatever for Blood Rain, and then they would shoot the Blubberella scenes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he parodied his own movie.
Yeah. He did, but the thing is, Uwe Boll, his movies are funny when they're unintentionally funny.
Yes,
When-
and well, they're too long, generally.
Yeah, when he goes out there, like, you know, when they're out there, they're funny that way. But when he tries to make a comedy, it fails. And this one was...
Stupid! You're so stupid!
It was just, oh. I tried to watch this, and I zoned out about 4 or 5 times. I tried. I was trying hard, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, I remembered a lot more about this, actually. Like the fucking dream sequences. The dreams...
Oh, the dream sequences were hilarious. They were the best part of the movie right there. With Uwe Boll as Adolf
The
Hitler.
dream sequences, Uwe Boll as Adolf Hitler, and the part where Blubberella is supposed to be precious, and
Oh, God.
stereotype is playing her mom, and he looks like
Yeah.
Venus from Sons of Anarchy with blackface.
Oh, yeah.
And Bill Williamson constantly cracking on himself being a bad actor. At one point, he says, "Because I cannot carry." And
Wait, say it again?
he cracks on himself. He cracks on himself being a bad actor like 4 times in this flick.
Yeah, because I cannot carry a scene by myself. Which I was like, damn.
Lindsay is like everything Amy Schumer thinks she is.
Yeah. Lindsay Hollister was great in this movie. Like, that's the funny thing. Lindsay Hollister was good in
Yeah.
this movie. Like, the opening part was like, "Hi, I'm Blubberella, and I'm a superhero. Stop laughing. I am." Like, her voiceovers made this movie. But it still is horrible. It still is horrible. The intervention
Oh, the line
scene.
was, despite my inability to carry a scene. That was the
Yeah.
exact line.
Despite my inability to carry a scene. Yeah.
Bill
like-
Humble Williamson.
Yeah. The Commandant was funny. I mean, the intervention scene was pretty funny.
Oh yes, that was.
But the thing is, the movie has no story. It goes nowhere.
Exactly.
I mean, this movie is just a mishmash of scenes that doesn't do anything. Like, you think it's Blubberella
Yeah, I
against the
mean-
Nazis and all that stuff, and it's just a mishmash of scenes that goes nowhere. I mean, I thought Uwe Boll was more competent of a filmmaker than Neil Breen, but Blubberella, I'm sorry, Breen has you, dude.
This was like a Tom Green flick.
I mean, The Room is a masterpiece compared to this. I'm serious. Like, you know what's even more of a masterpiece? The crazy shit from Canon Films.
Oh, wow.
Ninja 3, Revenge of the Ninja, fucking The Apple. Like, oh my god. This just went, it just went all over the place, and it had, all right, remember when people are screaming, oh, it's a mess, and I used to say Neil Breen movies are a mess? Blubberella was a mess.
It definitely was.
It made no sense. This movie made no fucking sense. I mean, I could try to tell you scenes, but I zoned out. I mean, I thought certain things were funny, like the intervention thing. When they had Svetlana all of a sudden become a vampire.
Right.
Yeah, and her name was Svetlana, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny. Like the Hitler scene where like she's saying, you know, you don't have to do this, you could be nice, was funny.
She's freaking giving Hitler like life advice on the.
I know, and he's like, no, yeah, you know.
They're at the table, and she's seriously sitting there giving him life advice. Like, you gotta come down with the whole left cleansing thing, man. People think you're an asshole.
Yeah, and then like they're playing Risk.
Doctor tells where the mad scientist doctor tells the one guy to text him, he's like, you gotta stop smoking crack.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
This is the most random thing.
And then
it was the most random shit.
And then they like make references to shit from the
part
90s.
where she randomly starts acting like a dog.
Yeah.
The part where she randomly starts acting like a dog, and Bill Williams is like, look, Timmy's in the well.
Oh my god. They
999 straight out of Inglourious Basterds. The part where
they're playing Risk.
Walking, talking gay stereotype says the script says we saved them. Do we want to save them?
Yeah. Or it's like, you stand here, you stay here and don't die. You stay here and don't die. And then the guy's like, taps him on the shoulder, finally he just says fuck it and just like snaps his neck. Like,
It's like it's supposed to take place during World War II, but they have the internet and segways and
cell phones.
Yes.
And they talk about TV shows from the 90s and 2000. They talk about like freaking like Grateful Dead and shit. I'm like, what? Like the doctor mentions.
Honestly, this could have been on Adult Swim.
It could have.
Like, this is some shit Tim and Eric would do.
Yeah, in a shorter time. This was just
in a much shorter time. And that was my main gripe with it, was that it was too long. Because I fast forwarded a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like the certain things that you're like, ha ha ha, it's too long, and then they have things that just to make it a movie, to lengthen it out, and it's when it just loses you and you get bored.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's okay to have a movie be less than an hour. I mean, well, the shortest movie we watched for this show so far, I'm trying to remember it.
Oh my God. Miami Connection.
We watched it. Really? I thought it was a shorter one. I thought there was a shorter one than that. Miami Connection was short.
Yeah,
Miami Connection was short.
It was 89 minutes, man. That thing flew.
Yes, okay. That was what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Revenge of the Ninja 3, The Domination was short. You didn't even... I mean, it wasn't... Actually, Revenge of the Ninja was more short. The Bye-Bye Man was short, which I couldn't believe. Yeah.
Silent Night, Deadly Night wasn't that long either.
Yeah. Silent Night, yeah. Definitely. So Blubberella was the worst thing about it, the movie, besides, it going all over the place, was the whole thing where the thing Blubberella, like, you're gonna get a ton of fat jokes, and none of them were funny.
Yeah, it was a long running fact of the whole thing.
Yeah, and none of it was funny. Like, none of the fat jokes were funny. Like, okay, she's getting food, I get it. Oh, look at that, she's cooking food. Oh, she's cooking, really? Come on.
Lindsay pulled it off, but I guess all the
Yeah.
jokes that were supposed to be at her expense weren't that funny.
Right. Lindsay
When
even
she
said,
cracked on herself was funny.
yeah, when Lindsay cracked on herself, it was funny. But, like, Lindsay even said that, like, she didn't like all the fat jokes, and the only reason she took the job was because there weren't that many roles for overweight actresses in Hollywood at that time. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And she has a point, and she was just like, she made some changes to the character that you could see that you're like, all right, thank God you did that.
Right.
But
Yeah, and the thing is, this could have been a lot better as a parody of the stereotypical female-led action flick you get these days.
yeah, but it just became
but it didn't pull that off.
yeah, it became bullshit and a long-running fat joke.
Yeah.
It's like you just want to be like Ken Jeong's character from The Hangover. It's funny because you're fat. Ha ha ha.
Like long-running fat joke versus long-running gay joke against each other the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind that much. Those two cracking on each other, I didn't mind that much.
Yeah.
Those two go at each other like.
See, like
Like
there's certain yeah, there's certain comedy that they can make it, but when it's a long-running joke of just that, it's annoying. Like, the long-running joke in The Disaster Artist is Tommy Wiseau's voice. But the thing is, it never gets old because Tommy Wiseau's voice is a joke in itself because it always changes.
Yeah,
He never has the same
that's
accent once. He's like, oh, you think of that? Oh, no, you think of that? It's like he can't decide what accent. He can't decide. So it becomes a long-running joke. But it's not like, oh, it's funny because they're making a joke, ha ha. No, it's just him. And, certain other things, like certain other movies that have a comedic things, like, certain long-running jokes are funny because, it's them. It's not, it's not a long-running fat joke that's distasteful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely trolling with this flick.
Yeah, he was, but it's one
He
thing.
was trolling hard with this.
Yeah, but that's the problem that Uwe Boll has. Is like he'll troll things, but it never goes good for him.
Which is weird because this was 2011. People weren't freaking out about a lot of the shit yet.
Like, Postal was a whole troll movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Postal is a troll game. I mean, he was trolling hard with Postal, but Postal was funny. Where this, it gets funny certain parts and then it just becomes offensive. To where you're just like, okay,
now, of
I
course,
get it.
this was. Now, of course, this was quite a bit before Rampage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If he was doing it at the same time as the third Blood Rain.
Yeah. Yeah, like 2008 or something like that. Yeah. I could look right
And it
here.
came out in 2000. Then Rampages.
Yeah, 2011. Before Rampage.
Right.
Yeah, so before the Rampage series, but yeah, it just, I mean, this is like how the Wayans do all like the black jokes constantly, and you get it. You're like, okay, move on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and speaking of black, next week we'll have Black Panther.
That is true.
Next week we'll have Black Panther, and Double Toasted's review was hilarious. What they said was hilarious. How like Disney, like all this thing. What a hell of a, a monument, like a monumental thing for black people and all that from Disney. And just think how fast they went from Uncle Remus to King T'Challa. I was like, they brought up Uncle Remus. I was like, damn.
Wow.
Uncle
Does he
Remus.
bring up Blade? Because I was talking about this to somebody else. Everyone's forgetting Blade, man.
Yeah, they forget
A
Blade.
year ago when Deadpool came out, they were like, "Well, Deadpool's first R-rated superhero movie." No, Blade was. Now, Black Panther. Oh, this is huge for black superheroes. It's like, well, we had Blade.
Oh, you're talking Blade, right? Hold on. You're talking Blade. That's who Jack Hyde reminded me of. Stephen Dorff's character, Frost.
Oh, yes. Deacon Frost. He looked like Deacon Frost.
He looks like Deacon Frost. He's just like,
Oh my god.
Lamagra is coming. There's nothing you can do about it, Blade. Christian Grey, Lamagra is coming. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing your BDSM weird ass mind can do about it.
And well, you could say there was kind of weird BDSM shit in that movie too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
syringe sarcophagus. Tommy, but I digress.
Yeah. And anyway,
Happened to Tommy.
Anyway, let's wrap this up here. So, Blood Rain, or Blubberella, sorry. Blubberella, there we go. Yeah. Blubber Rain.
Hitler was a sensitive man.
Oh boy. All right, what do you give this?
I actually give it a 3 out of 5, to be honest. I actually give it a 3.
Oh, you're going the number scale. All right. So, all right.
I laughed a lot more than I expected at that, and it just had the usual oovable problems, but I had much lower expectations of that than...
All right, so on the ship...
my expectations were low. Yeah.
All right, so on the ship bomb scale, is it a double bird, a single bird, night all, meh, or craptacular?
Single bird.
So fuck this movie, but you can at least make fun of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Blubberella a single bird too. So, the weirdest thing is, so many people thought that 50 Shades, I was gonna give it a double bird, and the double bird is like, it's reserved for the truly, truly awful, and you can make fun of 50 Shades.
Yeah.
I can't believe that, like, you can make fun of 50 Shades, so, yeah.
Well, you could make fun of Twilight too, so I guess that's just how it was going to be, wasn't it?
Yeah. But at least 50 Shades freed. Another thing that saved it was Dakota Johnson writing certain parts for Anastasia Steele to say that were badass. I was like, that's cool. That's good. So it wasn't as...
Yeah, what when your actress has to jump in and kind of make her character not as lame herself.
Yeah.
Says, we just said Blubberella had to do the same thing. We just said that.
Just imagine if Kristen Stewart actually would have gave a shit about her character Bella. Because you could tell she didn't give a shit about that. You could tell Kristen Stewart didn't. You could tell she was like, I don't know about Bella. And then they're like, just do it. She's like, all right, fine, fuck it. And then she phoned it in the rest of the freaking series.
But according to everyone who has seen all her other movies, she doesn't give a shit about any of her roles.
No, there are certain movies there are certain movies I've seen where she's good. Like the Runaways movie. The Runaways movie, she plays Joan Jett, and she has the attitude. And
Oh,
she
wait.
actually gives a
Wasn't
shit.
that?
She was Joan Jett.
Wow.
And she gave a
I
shit.
didn't know. Okay.
And she gave a shit. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Joan Jett, she gave a fucking shit. So, anyway. Next week, you know what, how about, well, since Kickboxer is available on Vudu, you want to watch it as well?
Okay. Do I have that?
I'm pretty sure you do. I think it's like a $5.99 rental or something like that, or you could just Cody it, whatever, you know.
All right. It's not on Amazon yet.
No, it's not.
Why did I? Oh no! You know what? I have it confused with Jean-Claude Van Johnson or whatever it is.
Oh, Jean-Claude Van Johnson's awesome, though. Dude, Jean-Claude Van Johnson's a great watch.
So, Kickboxer Retaliation. All right.
Kickboxer Retaliation and Wish Upon. I'm going to have you watch a new movie, Kickboxer Retaliation, Wish Upon, and you should see Black Panther.
Yeah, I got a 3-day weekend and no band practice, so maybe I'll do it. I mean, well, yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. That's on my list. So.
Yeah, as a black man, it's your freaking, it's your obligation.
Yeah.
It is your right to see a black superhero. Come on. It sounds so wrong. It's a way of saying that. Anyway. Till next week, I'm Trips.
And I'm Monstar.
Keep it nerdy, homies.
Let me find this.